Reverend Vyas, Shri Pundit Deodath Vyas, other Reverend Pundits, of course, the Secretary of the Sanatan Dharma Mahasabha, Shri Mr. Satyanarayana Maharaj, Mr. Krishna Ramani, Executive Member of the Sanatan Dharma Mahasabha, especially invited guests, devotees, of course, radio and TV Jagati, of course, Zabisa and Pani Guru Singh, and of course, my dear Bhai Ravi Sharma, Sitaram, let me at this time extend to each and every one of you on behalf of the Monroe Middle School a very special welcome to the first of 3 nights of devotion, Ramayana Katha, which commemorates the opening of this new institution. As some of you will be aware, last September, this 3 nights was started for. Unfortunately, beyond our control, we had to put off, cancel somewhat at that time. But the God has seen with it, we gave it up. And of course, at this opportune time, He has granted us that blessing when we can host this 3 nights satsang, invite all of you all together. We can collectively join in the devotion as we bless the school first and foremost, and of course, to commemorate the opening of this institution. So we extend to each and every one of you a very special welcome to the first night of 3 nights. Of course, tonight, to commence the reading for us is not another Dharma of the Sanatan Dharma Mahasabha, Shri Pundit Deodath Vyas, who is over Dharma, who is no stranger to none of us and the Hindu community. A Pundit who has certainly contributed significantly to the propagation, preservation, and the uplift of Hinduism here in Trinidad and Tobago, and of course, North America. Tonight, we shall listen to yet another discourse, a beautiful discourse, related by Goswami Tullsidas, narrated from the lips of Shri Pundit Deodath Vyas. At this time, I'd like to, as the welcome has been completed, it is my pleasure this time to pass over to Punditji as he will now deliver the discourse for tonight. Pundit Deodath Vyas.
Principal Pawan Pradhan ki jai, Siyavat Ramachandra ki jai, Makti Mahadev ki jai, Mahashakti Devi ki jai. Thank you very much. Myself, Prince Pundit Deodath Vyas. This is also, it gives me great pleasure to extend to all of Pundits who are here, message to you. Thank you very much. And of course, the most esteemed, the dynamic, the fearless secretary who has given us this institution, Shri Satyanarayana Maharaj, a man we have grown to love, a man we have grown to respect, and a person who has contributed more than significantly to Trinidad and Tobago. His contribution is not only to the Hindu community, it is to the entire population of TND. And we are very privileged to have a store with us, Mr. Maharaj. Mr. Maharaj, I want to especially welcome you. It is you who are responsible for this institution. You have worked tirelessly, and the Hindu community could never repay you for what you have done. When it comes to the education of TND, the children of TND, and that radio and TV Jagrati can broadcast to the world, it is because you fought the battle and you fought it well. So Mr. Maharaj, I want to say congratulations to you, as I especially single you out this evening for the world to understand the struggle we have. If we as Pundits could achieve anything, it is because we have a strong leader who can guide us, a leader who can pull us up when time comes, a leader who has always contributed to the welfare of the Pundits of TND. Once again, Mr. Maharaj, blessings to you. And of course to our manager of this beautiful institution, Shri Krishna Ramani. I want to thank you all very much for being here. So let's all please stand as we join together in Ramayana. Hari Om Vigneshwaraya Pratyakshay Vidyam Brahmachari Vidyam Chandradharpeti Pushpangete Chakratam Kancham Skanavete Shashtakravayete Saptamakharatre Mahavavete Shashtamam Navam Siddhate Cha Navadravate निवेदिता ओम नमः शिवाय। आनंददाता ज्ञान को दीजिए, शिव सारे घटनाओं से जो हमें सीखिए। In this soft light of sanctity, as we behold that transparent form of divine loveliness, and now, beloved Lord, our heart is filled with unspeakable gladness. Dear Sridham, we offer salutation. Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Shalini Sharanya Dayambike Gauri Narayani Namaste Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya and Sarvabhauma Chande Ki Jai. श्री मापति महादेव की जय, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। भक्तजन आसीन So my dear devotees, let me present to you Shri Swarutam, a most cordial welcome to this evening's puja. Worship of the Lord Bhagwan Shri Ram Maryada Purushottam, and this evening Shri Ram Kahani, our discourse taken from the sacred pages of the Holy Ramayana of Saint Tulsidas. And this evening it gives me great pleasure on behalf of this beautiful institution, the Monroe Hindu School, on behalf of its principal, staff, and of course students and parents, a very special welcome to all Pundits who are here this evening. Many thanks to Pundit, of course, Pundit Vyas, Pundit Vyas, Pundit Raj, Pundit Vishnu, Pundit Brahmani, and of course our beloved Secretary General. We are very happy to have the Brahman Devdas coming to join us. On stage members of course Raj, and this evening to our listeners on Radio Jagrati, a very special welcome to you. And I know this program reaches the world all over. Many thanks to Mr. Maharaj, the management and staff of both Radio and TV Jagrati. And this evening we are very privileged to have, a voice that we have heard so often, a person we have put a level, and she is none other than Mrs. Elizabeth Singipani. Always a pleasure. You have been an inspiration to so many of us who now started on radio, on the family and on television. Thank you very much for that blessing, and of course, my friend thank you very much for being here, Ravi and the camera. Later on we got to view in the comfort of our home all that is happening. So many thanks to our kind sponsors for giving us the opportunity, and especially this evening on behalf of the principal and the staff, I will say special welcome to everyone. Manager of the school, as I said, Mr. Ramari, thank you very much. You have grown in the Monroe Hindu School, and you have seen all the transitions that are taking place, and I'm sure this evening you are very proud of what you have seen. So let's all bow our heads in prayer as we meditate, and we say special thanks to our shoulders at the baby, fasting, and of course parents and children alike sitting as shoulders. So let's all bow our head, concentrate now, meditate. Visualize beautiful form of our Vishnuram, जिनको आदि नहीं अंत नहीं, वही परम परमात्मा को ध्यान करो। Concentrate and visualize. Shiva, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namah Chandikaya. Salutations to our nation. You are all success. Shri Ganesh. You are all of success. Pushtivartam Puravarutameva Bandha श्रीमान बताते महिमा तुम्हारी है निराली to the mighty one, the powerful one, we pray for her blessings. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Jayarupena Samsita Namastasya 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 Namaha Vegihara Hanumana Mahaprabhu Jo Kachhu Sankata Hoya Hamaro Kauna So Sankata Mora Kare Ko जो तुमसे नहीं चाहता ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम रामचंद्र की जय. The Holy Ramayana of Saint Tulsidas. One of the many scriptures you will find in the world today, many other world scriptures. And all of these scriptures tell us about the greatness of the Lord. But one of the main functions of all the scriptures in this world, all the scriptures provide us with directions in the spiritual journey. Lord Krishna says our goal is Sachidan, God is our goal. Deepak Chopra says we are spiritual travelers in a cosmic journey. So in this journey of life, the scriptures, the Ramayana give us guidelines and directions. Ramayana provides us with the directions in which we must follow. It is a guarantee. Ramayana is a guarantee to Ramadham. In the final analysis, when we have lived all our here on earth, we must ascend to the highest heaven. Bodies do not return to God. Bodies are transient. Our souls will return to the Lord. Ramayana provides a guarantee for that time when the soul merges and becomes one between the Supreme Being. Ramayana is a prescription for a fruitful life here and hereafter, friends. You want to live a fruitful life in this world? Ramayana is what everyday living. One of the things you must never ever do is go to hereafter. We must never hereafter. We have to listen to the Katha Bhagwan Srila. Kahata Sunata Avat Akyume Bani, and then the emotions within will well up within our hearts. So Ramayana is a cultural exposition. You know what our culture is? You know what our culture is? Our culture is Ramayana. This is our culture. And this is our culture. We must always remember. So Ramayana Katha ho pyara, Ramayana Katha sab ho pyara. Ramayana is so beautiful. It touches the chords, the strings of our heart. But you see, Bhagwan Shiva ne kaha, man sadhan hokar. With a mind that is concentrated, we listen to the Katha of Bhagwan Shiva. So, it is said, let us join together before we have all bridges close to singing. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Rama Principal Ramachandra ki jai. So this evening our discourse is simply Raja Dasharatha and his sons. Raja Dasharatha and his sons. A father who possesses two sons, four sons rather. And this evening we're going to look at the relationship between this father Raja Dasharatha and his sons. Rama tells us about Dasharatha. But we have to understand Dasharatha kya hai. What is Dasharatha? Dasha means 10. Ratha means chariot. Who rides on the chariot of 10. So this evening we are going to talk about the man who rides on the chariot of 10. But what is the chariot of 10? The five senses of action and the five senses of perception. And the man who rides on the chariot of 10, he is going to be blessed with four sons. And what are the four sons? Is it simply four children? Yes, four children. But the four sons represent the four fruits of life. And there are four things that every person wants in his or her life. Think about it. What do you want in your life? There are only four things. Dharma, calm or moksha. The blessings, the wealth, the happiness and the liberation. But how can we achieve? Life is about achievements. And when you look at the achievements of this school, it is beautiful, it is superb, it is wonderful. So life is about achievements. And what are the achievements? Dharma, calm or moksha, blessings. Everybody wants blessings, wealth, happiness and liberation. But this evening, Raja Dasharatha is going to be tempted. He is going to be tempted because he is going to ask for the most precious thing in his life. He is going to be requested of the most precious thing in his life. Now I should ask you, what is the most precious thing you have in your life? So I'm talking to the parents. Is it your job? Is it your wealth? What is it? The most precious things in your life. You know what these are? Raja Dasharatha is going to be called upon tonight to give up the most precious things in his life. Is he willing to give up the precious things he has earned in his life? Let's all join together as we do Shri Ram Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram. Everybody sing with me. Shri Ram Jai Ram. Jai Jai Ram. रामचंद्र की जय। विश्वामित्र महाविज्ञानी बस ही विपिन शुभ आश्रम जानी। यह के बाद से बोलते हैं कि हे भरतराज, यह सब चरित मैंने कहा। महर्षि विश्वामित्र महान ज्ञानी वन में से विपरीत आश्रम में वास करते थे। So our kथा begins with the introduction of Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra was one of the great sages. Vishwamitra महाविज्ञानी, and this great sage से विपरीत आश्रम में वास करते हैं। He lived in an ashram where there was no luxury, no comfort, no amenities. The ashram life is a life of sacrifice. In the days of Treta, when Sridham came to this world, the sages left their home and went to the ashrams. They gave up all luxuries and comfort. But is it realistic today? Is it possible that today I must give up my house, my family, and go in the forest to do penance? That's not realistic, friends. But our home must be transformed into an ashram. An ashram is a place of discipline. So our homes must be converted into an ashram in which you make all the sacrifices. But you know what happens? The moment electricity goes, we are lost. We are lost the moment electricity goes because we are so attached to these amenities. But this is human nature, we can't help this. But our homes must be a place of discipline, where we live a disciplined life, where we follow the rules of the scriptures. Tasmat Shastra Manante, Krishna says, let the scriptures be applied. You see, so our homes must become the veritable ashram in which we must live. And in making your home an ashram, you know what you are doing? You have two words. One is air conditioning. And we have grown so accustomed with air conditioning. The next one is prayer conditioning. What is prayer conditioning? For these three meetings, this institution is going to be prayer conditioned. Every single day of the school term, prayers are said in this school. Thank God for people like Mr. Satmaraj and the Mahasabha. They institute all these. Every single day, mantras are recited, bhajans are sung, havan is done, puja is done in this school. You know why? Because this is an institution that has to be prayer conditioned also. If you only have air conditioning, you only feel good. But when prayer conditioned, your life becomes a life that is so beautiful. It becomes a pilgrimage back to the mind. So basically, we are prayer conditioning this institution. You know, in the evening when the sun is setting, you just feel the walls of your home. It absorbs the heat. The walls become heated. So it is these mantras, it penetrates into these walls. The walls, they accept the powers of these mantras. And so this becomes so different to any other institution. So Vishwamitra, he lived in this ashram. But you see, this was his lifestyle. He lived in an ashram, and what did he do? What was his lifestyle? What kind of a life did he live? He lived a life of penance. He lived a life of penance where he did japa, recitation of the name, yet the sacrifices. He did all of this. Just friends, it is important the kind of life we live. The kind of life we live is important. God gave us life, and we have to live that life according to Tasman Shastra Mananti. But you know, in living a life of discipline, ultimately just Bahudalani, the demons, they tormented him. When he would light the fire to have an Om Namah Shivaya Swaha, these demons will drop blood and bones in the fire, desecrate the offering. And so, he could not live a life of fulfillment. And this was the cause of his unhappiness. But Olashmat, when he would decide to walk the path of truth, you're going to be tempted and you're going to be tested. Walking the path of truth is like walking on a razor's edge. You know what a razor is? You know what a razor blade looks like? It can be cut anytime. So when you decide to walk the path of truth, it is like walking on a razor's edge. You're going to be tempted. You're going to be tested. So the question is, are you walking the straight path, right? Yes. We are doing all the necessary things in our prayers and listening and helping. So why should I be tested? And many people ask, why me? Why should I suffer? I go to Monday, I put up my Chinese, I do everything. Where do we get gold from? Gold comes from being down in the earth. But in order for that to become the jewels that you wear, look at the processes that gold must go through. And then it becomes so valuable, glittering, and so beautiful. So it is. God wants us to be perfect. This is why we go through all these troubles and all these tests and all these difficult times, because these are the testing moments in our lives. No man is going to be exempt from this world. We all are going to be tested, otherwise and otherwise. But we must be strong. And when you are strong and you're able to face the various trials in life, you will emerge like gold, be splendid. So Bishopment is tested at the sea. Because God wants to make him perfect. I always tell this story. A man once, a sculptor was making a murti. So after creating this beautiful murti of Krishna, he put it aside. And then he started to make another one exactly like this. So a traveler said, "Sir, do you need two of the same murti?" He said, "No, I need one." He says, "But you have one." He said, "There's a little fault in this one." So he looked at it, "But I cannot see the fault." He says, "There's a little scratch on the wood." He says, "Sir, where are you going to install that wood?" He said, 20 feet up in the air. So the man asked the sculptor, "Who will see it?" "Nobody will see that man." He said, "Yes, God will see. And God wants us to be perfect." This is why he's called Mariara, who showed them the perfect person is Sri Ram. A child wants to get a perfect score. When you do your C exams, you don't want to get 80 or 85 or 90. You want to get a perfect score. So God wants us to be perfect. So now that he is tempted and now he has so many problems, unable to do what he is doing, he decided, what is he going to do? Let's all join together. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. प्रभु रामचंद्र की जय. Adi tanay mana chinta vyapa. A little bit of doubt arose in the mind of Vishwamitra. Hari dina marahina nishcha bhav. He says these demons, only the Lord himself, Narayana, can destroy them. So in these troubled moments, what did he think about? He did not think about the problem he's facing. He looked beyond the problem and he saw the ray of hope. God is the ray of hope for us. When we are down and distressed, when we face the problems, when life comes one of its curves at us, there's someone up there who is waiting and watching. So he thought about Narayana. तब विश्वामित्र जी ने विचार किया कि प्रभु प्रति भार दूर करके अवतार. So it dawned upon him, there's a purpose in which, for which Sri Ram has come. Dhar means death. The Lord has come to remove the burdens of the world. Now what are the burdens of the world? Is it the mountains? Is it the ocean? Is it all the multi-story buildings? Is this the burden on the world? No. The sinners are the burden on the earth. Can you imagine? When Mother Earth assumed when she assumed the form of a cow, she said she can bear the weight of the oceans, the mountains, the rivers, but the weight of one sin, she is only able to bear this. So can you imagine what the weight of sin is like? Just think about it. So Vishwamitra, he says, I know the Lord has come to relieve the earth of its burdens. Krishna says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glami bhavati bharata abhyuddhanam dharmasya tada aham shisham. Yada yada, whenever dharma begins to be found, the Lord, he says, I shall come from time to time. So there's a little bit of hope that the Lord has come to relieve the earth of his burdens. यही किसी देख हो प्रभु पद जाए, इसी बहाने भगवान के चरणों का दर्शन करो. So he decided, I shall use my troubles as an excuse. Bahana means, excuse. Like when the child is upset, the child has to have an excuse. Why did you steal? So he is using his problem as an excuse to get help from Bhagavan. I always say, things happen for things to happen. If we didn't have a useful help, maybe we would not have had experience. If Vishwamitra is not in problem, in a predicament, maybe he would not have gone to the Lord. So the reason for his seeking help is because of his troubles. And let me see, everybody, when we have trouble, we go fastest to the Lord. Don't we go to the Lord when you have problems? No, don't ever buckle down below your problems. The Lord gives us problems, not to humble us, but to humble us. Remember, He gives us problems, not to humble us, but to humble us. In humility we go to Him. So Vishwamitra, let me go to the Lord. I will seek help from Him. And what will happen? So, we continue next to Hatasis. इसी प्रकार से अनेक मनोरथ करते चले और जब उन्होंने अधिक देर नहीं लगी, सवेरे स्नान करके राजा दशरथ के दरबार में गए. So he became a president. that he is going to seek help from the Lord. And so saying, he leaves home on the journey to Ayodhya. So where is he going to Ayodhya? And the very first time I went to Ayodhya, Mr. Maharaj himself took 70, there was a splendid Shiva day. And that was the first time I ever set foot in Ayodhya and looked at Ayodhya. Mr. Maharaj, thank you very much. And you know something? When I saw Ayodhya, I took out my camera and I said, take your time. Mr. Maharaj said, Pundit Deodath, since when you're a photographer? Yes, you see, I wanted to outdoors. And Mr. Maharaj was quite right, in taking us there. So we can speak about what we saw and tell you this is not a story. So he decided he's going to Ayodhya. इसी प्रकार this way, Manoratha. Man kya hai? Man means the mind. So going to Sri Ram, what did he have in his mind? Now listen to him. He's going to Sri Ram, but his mind is not on his problems. His mind is on God. His mind not on his problems, his mind is on Bhagavan. Man mana mad bhakto, Bhagavan Krishna says, fix your mind on me. Man mana mad bhakto. Lord Krishna says, fix your mind on me. So, with his mind fixed on the Lord, he comes to the river Sarai. And so Snan Karke, he took this sacred bath. When you go to these sacred rivers, you take a sacred bath. In your shower, you take a bath. When you go to these sacred rivers, you take a sacred bath. Because these waters are sacred waters. You see, when we do puja, Pundit recites, Om Gange Cha Yamune Chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmada Sankaveni Jalayasmin Saminku. To the 12 mantras, the 7 holy rivers are invoked in that book of law. Before, when Pundit starts his puja, this is the mantra he chants, Om Gange Cha Yamune Chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmada Sankaveni Jalayasmin in that water. And then he begins, Om Pavitra Pavitra. Those are the 7 holy rivers. And when Sri Ram returned and he was going to be crowned as king, the water from these 7 holy rivers were brought, and he was given the sacred bath with the same 7 holy rivers of water. But you know something, let me just take 1 second. Before we visited Rameshwaram last year, we had to bathe in 22 ghats. And in these 22 places, the waters from the 22 holy rivers were poured upon us. And then we had to enter Rameshwaram into that temple. You see? So the sacred bath, and then what happens? Let's join together again, Sri Ram Jai Ram, everybody, as we continue the chant. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram. Jai जय। मुनि आगमन सुनी जब राजा, मुनि का आगमन जब राजा ने सुना, जब ब्राह्मण को समाज से मिलेंगे, this is the news started to spread very quickly. And as the news started to spread, what was the news? The coming of Sri Ram. I have news for you. I have good news and I have bad news. Which one do you want to hear first? The bad news is the secret of life is behind the closed doors. Secret of life is behind the closed doors. The good news is the door is not locked. Open the door and you will discover the secret of life. Now what is the secret of life? Aham brahmasmi tattva-asi. Nirvana says Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. You see, behind the closed doors of our minds, our hearts, is the secret of life, which is Atma Ram. Sri Ram is not only God up in the skies. Sri Ram is the soul within each one of us. Atma Rama, he is the life principle, the Jiva, the soul within each one of us. Okay, let me ask you a question. How can an umbrella function? How can an umbrella function? Only when it is open. For our minds to function positively, we have to have an open mind, not a closed mind. And when the mind is open, then what happens? Then you will find the secret of life, which is Aham brahmasmi tattva-asi. So Raja Kashyap heard that the great sage is coming. So what did he do here? That is great sage Mahamuni Gyana is coming. Raja ne Brahmana ko samaj sahit milne. He gathered the Brahman devotees, the holy men, and with the company of the holy men, the Brahman devotees, he went to meet the king. And so Dandavat came. So look at the response of the king. The one who sits on the highest exalted seat, the throne. He comes down right onto the dust and he bows his head on the foot of the great sage Vishwamitra. He bows down to the foot of the great sage from the highest pinnacle. He comes down to the lowest spot. And so he pays his obeisance. And having done this, then what happens? He takes the king. Rather, the king took Vishwamitra his home. And tonight we are going to see what is Hindu hospitality. Tonight we are going to see the perfect example of Hindu hospitality. How a Hindu treats his guests. We know Atiti Deo Bhava and all of these things, that's right. But how does a Hindu treat his guests? And there are many examples. If you look at Sivari, how did Sivari treat her guest Sri Ram? How did Sutikshan treat his guest Sri Ram? And how is Raja Kashyap, the highest of the high, how is he going to treat his guest, who is Sri Ram? So, चरण धोकर मुनि का सम्मान किया और अपने आसन पर लाकर बैठा. So now begins the Hindu hospitality. He places his guest with Sri Ram in front of him. So Sri Ram is given the welcome. Asan लाकर बैठा. He brings his guest and offers him the most comfortable of seats. Being the king, I'm sure he has a very beautiful seat on which the daughter sit. But Sevari, they don't have a palace. Sevari placed the Lord on the ground to sit. According to her means, according to her means. And this is how we have to do it, according to our means. So having placed the Lord to sit, Charan Yoga, the Hindu hospitality is when your guru comes to your home, you are wash his feet. When we do puja, we bathe the Lord. We wash the feet of the Lord. You know what puja is? You have swagata, you welcome the Lord. You have asana, you have pada, you have pada. You have army. You get the Lord a seat. This is what you did in the picture. Then you wash the feet of it. Then you give the Lord water to drink, to sip. You see? So all of this is the Hindu hospitality, and the way we treat God is how we treat our guests. Atiti Deodath. So after putting him puja, and now he begins ceremonial worship. You know, offering the Lord the children, the flowers, the mala. This is how, you know, the Hindu way is. मेरे समान रिश्ता कोई आज घर में नहीं है. And then Raja Dasharatha said, today I am blessed. No one is as blessed as I am. उसके पीछे ने कितना भोजन कराए. And now he offers, you know, food to the great sage. अक्सर is this not puja? Is this not what we do on the beginning? जिसे मोहे हृदय परम प्रसन्न हुए. And out of all of this, the great sage was pleased. The important thing is to please our guest. God is our guest. Tonight you are the guest of Monroe Hindu School. And we want that all of you must be pleased at this evening. And when you leave here, you're going to leave your blessings behind. So after that, now, formality is over. Let's do the final job. And then I will hand over. So all of us together, Shri Ram Jai Ram. If we didn't sing for this evening, now is the time we join together. Shri Ram Jai Ram. Shri Ram. The most adorable, the precious Lord Shri Ram, who conferred his blessings upon so many. Today we receive his blessings. You are Shri Ram the adorable. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Ram Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram. Shri Ram चारों पुत्र को चरणों में डाल दिया. और श्री रामचंद्र को देखकर उनके देह सुलग फिसल गए. So after blessing Vishwamitra, the great sage, comfortably seated, now he introduces his most precious assets. What are your most precious assets? Is it the diamonds you have? No, we can replace that. But you see, his children, your most precious commodity, your most precious asset, the most precious thing in your life is your children. And if you didn't realize that, don't take them for granted. Don't ever take those who are brought into this world for granted. Our parents never took us for granted. So now he is proud to introduce his children to the great sage, and these four brothers, Shri Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, Shatrughan, as they entered into the hall, they bowed into the feet of the great sage. And when Vishwamitra saw them, Muni ke deh ke sudh fisal gaye. Raja Dasharatha is looking at the response of Vishwamin. Vishwamin could not believe his eyes. When he saw the Lord Sri Rama, as the writer says, he had eyes only for Sri Rama. And if you look at the pictures, the eyes are not winking. The eyes are fixed in shade. Vishwamin, his eyes fixed and drinking of the nectar-like beauty of Sri Rama. He lost all body consciousness. He is transported to the highest heaven of bliss. Simply the presence of God upon Sri Rama. Like the chakor bird. In India there is a bird that is called a chakor. And it waits for the full moon. It sits on the branch, and when the full moon rises, this bird keeps staring, not winking. And as the moon waxes and wanes, this bird keeps enjoying the serenity of the moon. And then it flaps its wings and it goes, He Sri Rama Chandra. Chandra means the moon. The moon-like face of Bhagavan Sri Rama, the peace and the serenity that he radiates. So, जब मन में प्रसन्न होकर राजा के मुनि बोले कभी पहले नहीं. So when Sri Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, Sutan, they all seated, then Raja Dasharatha with hands joined together. कभी पहले तो अपने से, he says, never before did you come to visit me, O great sage. Never before. This is your first visit to me. Maharaj, आपका आना कैसा हो? And I do not know if this is a mistake the king did when he told the great sage, ask for whatever you want, I have not delayed giving it to you. Is this going to be a mistake that he is making? Without knowing what the great sage wanted, he says, ask for whatever you want and I shall give it to you. Not knowing that this was a turning point in his life. विश्वामित्र बोले मुझे राक्षस बहुत सताते हैं, मैं आप कुछ मांगने आया हूँ. So Vishwamin, he said, okay, the demons are tormenting me. I have come to ask something from you. Tell me, I will not delay, I will give it to you. And that's a promise. When you say, ask and I will give you whatever, you have made a commitment. You have made a promise. Whatever you want to ask me, I'll give it to you. Never mind if I don't have it, I'll still give it to you. So let's see what will happen. Lakshman said, Ramchandra ji mujhe. So Vishwamin, normally we say Sri Ram and Lakshman. But he didn't say Sri Ram and Lakshman, he said Lakshman and Sri Ram. Why did he call the name of Lakshman first? Because the wise Vishwamin knew the affection that Raja Dasharatha had for this son Sri Ram. So it is going to be a blow for him, but to cushion the blow, he says Lakshman and then Sri Ram. When Raja Dasharatha heard this, the smile on his face disappeared. He became very serious. Shorty, in my fourth age, in my old age, I got 4 children. You want 2 of them? Who will want to part with their children? Never mind how wicked that child is. In India, what they say, my son was well willing. He was not a bad child at all. If only we had taken time to bring him up in a good way, we would not be faced with that sorrow. So Raja Dasharatha said, Mahangi Bhumi Devi Dhanakosha. He said, as for house, as for land, as for wealth, I'll give you all the Sri Ram. But Vishwamin does not house, he doesn't want land, he doesn't wealth. We, in this world, this is what we need. Vishwamin need, Sri Ram, he need, that spiritual life to be in place. His spiritual life is out of place. So he wants his spiritual life to fall in line. So Raja Dasharatha, he already said, ask and I will give you. Now is he going to break that promise? But there is someone who is keeping an eye on us. Who is this someone? Never mind sometimes we take it for granted. Who is always there? Keeping an eye on you. The Guru. And this evening, if you have listened to Radio TV Jagri, you heard which is such a beautiful thing. So the Guru, seeing what was going on, the Guru stepped forward and corrected what was wrong. He said, Maharaj, you ask, and he said, no, give Shrinam Lakshmi. Imagine Lakshmi. And imagine a being separate from his two sons. But in the end, separation from him will bring the rewards of marriage to Shrinam. So friends, this evening, look at the affection. So the final question is it that Raja Daja loved this one son more than others? He has 4 sons. Does he love one of his children more than others? What do you think? Parents, do you love one of your sons, one of your children more than others? Show us. Don't tell me no. Don't tell me no at all. Every one of us, there's a soft spot in our children. There's a soft spot, but you understand, there is so much competition out there for our children. Don't allow them to compete for all of them. Let it seem to be equal. Love one more than others, fine. But let it be seen, equality in the family. What happens from here? Will take us in another example. Principle of Rama Chandra Ijay. So at this time, let me pass over to the master of ceremonies for the sitting for the Vishesh Vyas as he is going to lead us through.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Pundit Deodath Vyas, for such a divine and inspiring discourse. Certainly a discourse well received by all here tonight, I'm sure. Tonight, going to the second aspect of tonight's proceeding, we have had a discourse created on Ramayana, Goswami Tulasdash Katha. And of course tonight we are very pleased and honored to have in our presence a man who over the years has become synonymous with being the defender and protector of Hindu Dharma. Mr. Satyarai Maharaj, the Secretary General of the Sanatana Dharma Mahasabha, has not only been leading the fight for religion, our dharma and our culture, but also for the education of our boys and girls. When history will be recorded of course, of the success of our Hindu schools, Mr. Maharaj will be belong first and foremost in that recording. The laudable accomplishment of all our educational institutions from preschool to secondary school is adequate testimony to this fact. A person who continues to champion the cause of Hindus, a man who puts his life on the line for his people and his dharma. I refer to none other than the Secretary General, Mr. Satyarai Maharaj. Anyone that was listening to another radio station, not a Hindu radio station, but an Indian radio station, I dare say an anti-Hindu radio station. And they will carry on, but you know what? One family they identify. We have no leader, but the Hindu people has a leader in the personality of Mr. Satyarai Maharaj. Let us give him a round of applause for that dedication. As he has taken us, the Hindu people. I dare say the voice of the Hindu people is Mr. Satyarai Maharaj. We are seated comfortably in this hall here today, my dear brothers. Some of us for the very first time we are coming to the school, this new institution. Very big, very spacious, very modern. And of course the children just love this one. But this school was built by the previous government, Mrs. Kamala Prasad Visasani. And this school was designated for Monroe Hindu. And last year, September, we had a battle to fight. The school was already built, everything was in place. The opening took place, but lo and behold, in the month of September, the forces that were in power demanded that we leave the school and go back to the old school. A battle that we had to fight. And who will we turn to? We'll turn to that person who can fight that battle. A person with personality of all of the Dharma in our land today. None other than the Secretary General, Mr. Satyarai Maharaj. And so we went to him. relate our plight, our problem. And of course, it was in the national forum, so he knew about it. And it is only when Mr. Maharaj took up the fight that the needs of the forces that in power began to buckle. But we realized this was no longer the children and parents of Monroe in school, but this was Mr. Maharaj's son. And so today we are here, and I'm sure he will explain more about this. We are here in this school because of his efforts. And today, it is with great pleasure I now introduce to you the most dynamic, vibrant, indomitable Secretary General of the Mahasabha, Shri Mr. Sakurai Maharaj. Let's all put our hands together.
Thank you very much, my young Pundit. I almost could not recognize myself with that description. Our officiating Vyas and the many Pundits who have gathered here. My colleague on the Mahasabha Executive, the manager of this school, Krishna Ramali, the former principal of this school, Mrs. Ramali, the principal, the staff, and you, the parents, who have made this day possible. I want to congratulate you for transforming a drab auditorium into a veritable shrine. A wonderful transformation. I wish the tens of thousands who are listening to us and will view us on TV Jagriti would be here to see how this transformation has been effected. So I want to congratulate you all, but I also want to remind you that this school stands on acreages that were sugarcane plantations. I wonder how many of you know that. How many parents here know that this was a sugar field, a cane field? Now, our children don't even know what a sugar cane is. They have to go to some museum to find out what a sugar cane is. But you and I, we're all here because of that little plant called the sugar cane. Our ancestors were brought here in 1845, 171 years ago, to help grow these sugarcane so that sugar could be extracted and exported to Europe. Your ancestors and my ancestors, we were treated like animals. The only education they had was how to plow the land with a fork, how to have a big tractor, how to make the drains with a spade, and how to plant the sugar cane. No schooling, no education, malnutrition. Did you know that your ancestors were given a ration? That's all they could eat. That's why most of them died in the early 30s. That was the age at which most of our ancestors passed away. And from 1845 to 1952, more than 100 years, our children, those children, couldn't see the door of a school. If you want to enter a school, you have to produce a baptismal certificate. That is, that you have been baptized to get a schooling. So that in recent times when people turn around and say that we help educate the Hindus, that is a total and absolute falsehood. If you were converted, you were educated. If you are converted, you are given a job as a teacher or a public servant. So it was conversion for education. And we Hindus were not even permitted to build our own schools. Everybody else were permitted to build schools, but not the Sanatanist Hindus. It was only in 1952 that permission was granted the Sanatana Dharma Mahasabha to erect schools. And when we built these schools across the country, we had no money. Our people used to go to the forest and cut roundwood moose. I wonder how many of our children know what a roundwood moose is. And we covered the school with carrot leaves. And you leave the floor with gobar. Now, gobar you have to buy it in the store. And we started these schools. We started to employ our own people as teachers. And then they were described as cowsheds. Now as a young man, I was living just across there, almost from here you can see my house in Caroli village there. As a young man, I was angry like mad. Our best effort to build a school, and you call it a cowshed. But our leader then was a fellow called Padesa Gantharat. He was well known. And his response was, it was better to educate a child in a cowshed than to give that child no education at all. And even when we tried to transform these cowsheds into modern facilities like this, impediments were placed in our way. Right there, Minister handed me the keys. I cut the ribbon. Handed over the school, because the arrangement was we find the land and the state builds the school. And bear in mind, when the government say they build their school, they build it with your money, you are the taxpayers. So nobody builds school for us. It's the taxes that you pay go up towards building that school. Every time we buy anything, you pay VAT. You pay VAT and milk and food. You're paying taxes. So you, like everybody else, you are entitled to get a proper education for your child in proper surroundings. So that we are happy to be here in this beautiful surrounding. I am happy that the principal and the teachers have used their imagination to transform this place into what it is, a shrine. But what has happened between 1952 and today? We have been able to teach the rest of Trinidad and Tobago how to educate children in a school. We have taught them that. Coming from the jail and the gutter, we were able to rise and to teach them that. You know why? Because education has two prongs. Two prongs in education. One is the secular prong, which is given right here, and the other prong is a little under in the back there, the religious part of it. In this school, you parents who are here, every morning that your child comes to this school, for the first half an hour, that child is taught to recognize the omnipresence and the omnipotent of God. The child is taught to chant the mantras, and your children know the mantra better than all you. What you see all this down here? Your children will teach you. You see them in the Bible class. Your children will teach you the teachers teach your children. They teach them all the tenets, the mantras, the chants. And then they go to the secular education, the classrooms. But when they break for lunch, you know this mantra again. And when they come back from lunch, this mantra again. They're taught to say to the Lord, we thank you for the food that you have given us. You'll make us healthy and strong and good students. And when they break on the evening, this mantra again. So all during the life of your child at this institution, your child is taught the secular education, how to master the mathematics and the languages, and we'll talk a little bit about education, that secular education, the changing form of education. Your child is anchored. The child is anchored. We try to anchor the child. But that is one form of education. When we were growing up, you know, the education we had was strictly agriculture. How to cut grass. I was a master grass cutter with a grass knife. See this grass right here? The amount of grass knife cutting it. You learn to cut grass, to bundle grass, to feed the cow, to milk the cow. That was our vocation. Today, the world is changing dramatically. And the needs of your children are changing as dramatically as the world is changing. When I was growing up, the first young I attended in 1942. When the pundit sat there was a flambeau on the side. So don't know what a flambeau is. Don't know what a flambeau. Nobody a flambeau. And the pundit did not have sophisticated microphone. He had to have a booming voice that you hear him all over there. Today, that same pundit on that little piece of gadget is talking to the Hindu world. In New York, in Toronto, all of them, they're listening to us there. You better believe they're listening to us there. And all over Trinidad and Tobago. So what I am saying to you, the world is changing and the education system has to change to cater to the new world. So when you think your child is sleeping, your child takes him under the pillow. This is the new world that we are living in. So that the new form of education is evolving. No longer the child is taught how to plant cane, and how to mold cane, and how to burn cane, and how to cut cane, and how to bundle cane, and send sugar cane to the mills. Now everything is at the child's fingertip. So that we are moving into a new era. And I want to let you know, we have almost 1,000 teachers in our schools, and our teachers are responding to the needs of a new world and the educational needs of our children in our school. Every one of them. They understand the changes that are taking place. We have not begun to see changes that the world has. When we are growing up, it was a different kind of movement. Today, the world is at the fingertips of our children. And therefore, we must respond to the changes. Don't wait on no state, no government. No government. The government is slow to respond. A government always responds to the people. The people have to realize before they make the changes in the syllabus. So we are teaching your children. Now, the Pundit gave a katha about Ram going to fight demons. Ram father had to lend Sri Ram to not fight those demons. But in another episode, he also had to send Ram and Lakshman to the Gurukul, to the school where they were taught all that was necessary in those days for good rulership. So this idea about sending your child to the school is as old and ancient as our religion itself. So if I had to leave one message to you who are here, a good audience, massive audience here, and to the listening audience outside, the message is, whatever sacrifice is necessary to ensure that your children, and you look like you have grandchildren, you have one yet, whatever sacrifice you have to make those sacrifices for your children, because the world that is now evolving is going to be a quite different world that you and I will not be able to understand. You sit down in a little room and look at television, and that is their world. So I want to wish you all the best, and to tell the teachers and the principal and all the supporters of the school, you have a wonderful opportunity. We are not going to allow our tax dollars to build schools only across the Caroni River on the other side. We want schools south of the Caroni River too, because our children are tremendous learners. So I want, on behalf of the Education Board of the Sanatana Dharma Mahasabha, let me give you my own personal story before I pray, so that people will understand the torture that you have to undergo. When I was going to primary school right there in Caroni, your neighbor in there, you had no school here in local, The only school you had was the Presbyterian school on the main road. You had that Presbyterian school, and you had that one that I was going to there. And I passed the exam and thing, and they made me a pupil teacher. I was a happy old fellow. In the whole village, I was a teacher, a learning teacher. And then, in 1949, they called me to a meeting in Tarapuna, where the Tarapuna Presbyterian Church. All the Hindu boys and girls were teaching, and asked us, do we intend to convert? I said I couldn't convert. I didn't know what Hinduism was all about, but I knew my grandmother will save money every fortnight to have a chandi at the end of the year. That's all I know about Hinduism. So I couldn't convert. 3 months later, the manager and the principal ended at my home in a place called Jumping East, the eastern part of Caroni village. That was a cemetery. We lived on the cemetery. Cemetery grew up now on the other side. They came home by me there, said, Mr. Maharaj, you are transferred. So look how foolish me now. I start thinking that I have to buy a bicycle, because they either transfer me here or Europe. I said, where to, sir? They said, you have a choice, Beach or Monroe. I know I need another place. To get to Beach, you have to take a train from St. Joseph. Those days, train running from St. Joseph to San Grande, and then you take a Damani bus from San Grande to Rio Claro. Because I wouldn't convert, and sometimes my friends will tell you I get angry. I get angry because of that. Whenever I see another Hindu is being victimized because of their religion and their culture, it angers me. Because I felt it. I felt the hurt. And I said, no, judge me on who I am, my mental capacity. Don't judge me who I believe in. So that we must be always vigilant. It is true that now the Western world is beginning to understand Hinduism, and you see in the Western world, it have more white Hindus than Indian Hindus. Go to North America. All of them Hare Krishna. All of them do yoga. Yoga take over North America. They're so frightened that Hindus will infiltrate through yoga that they now start to call it Christian yoga. You think like Christian yoga is yoga. So I want to thank you most sincerely, Mr. Principal, and your staff. I understand you have a sumptuous meal for us after all this work is finished here, and to wish you all the best. And may the children who attend this school emerge as brilliant scholars. We bless you, and we hope that you will be a success in future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Secretary General Sanatan Dharmasa, Honorable Shri Satyanarayana Maharaj, for that powerful and very inspirational message. You know, when you go to Master Headquarters and you sit with Mr. Maharaj in discussion, there's so much we can learn from him, so much inspiration he brings forth to that individual, to those persons who are here in his company. Thank you very much for accepting. Only on Tuesday I get to come carrying, and of course, this finance will be completely formidable. You have to come. Thank you again for accepting the principal's invitation, and of course the Monroe's invitation to be here. At this time, we'd like to present a small token of appreciation to Mr. Maharaj for taking the time out of his busy schedule to be here. On behalf of the Monroe School, we'd like to show our appreciation for his sacrifice that he's been making for our school, for our children, for our teachers, principal. So, to make this presentation, I call on the senior teacher, Ms. Shalini Sinha, who will make this one to help Mr. Maharaj on behalf of the Monroe School. We say a very special thank you for being here this evening to join with us in the celebration. May God continue to give you that strength and that blessing to continue to forge ahead and to keep fighting for us. Thank you very much. Let's give Mr. Maharaj. So at this time, it brings us to the end of this part. Let me pass the back to Vyas tonight as to final comments and of course conclusions. So at this time, before we go to Vyas, let me pass the microphone to the principal, Mr. Joel, who will address us at this time.
Mr. Satyanarayana Maharaj, Secretary General of the Sanatan Dharma Mahasabha, Mr. Krishna Ramani, Manager of the school and past principal, Honorable Pundit Vyas, other pundits around, Pundit Sitaram, pundits on stage, my loving wife who is here with me this afternoon, tonight, my mother who is here with me, and my family members. I want to welcome you. Parents who are here, it's a pleasure to have you sitting and listening to this Katha tonight. But most importantly, and I think we forgot to mention them in a deserving way, the children of this school who are here tonight. I think it is commendable to see so many of you here listening on, and I want you parents to give those children a round of applause. You have heard Mr. Maharaj's view and his battle, but you have not heard mine. But every river, the start of every river is a drop of water. Massive Ganga starts with one drop of water. That drop of water is a little flashy boy by the name of Amit. I won't go into that story. But when I came to this school in 2012, parents came to me and said, "Sir, you know, we're supposed to get a new school, and we have been fighting so long for it. my simple reply was, patience. He will get you in your school. Patient, he will get you in your school. And so with that dream, and we believe, therefore we achieve. There was support from all my parents. There was support from my family, especially my wife. I would go home to her every night and voice my frustrations to her. Sometimes she would add it, but sometimes she would ease it. Imagine being caught between the board and the ministry. The board says, go ahead and move into your new school. And I said, hooray, we get our new school. And we moved. 40 members of the parent population. 5 trucks. One day, we moved the school. Second day, the supervisor comes to me and says, sir, move the school. I said, well, you got permission. All right, very good. And the day after that, they say, you have to move back to school. Mr. Ryan says, you're not going anywhere, you're staying right there. Ministry says, you have to move back. There's a directive from the ministry. And all I could do is sit and wonder, how am I going to get out of this? The only principal in the entire country facing a situation where that ever to move a school and have to move it back. The only principal in the entire country. But the support of Mr. Maharaj, with the support of my parents, my family, and not forgetting teachers who stood with me every step of the way and gave me the courage, gave me the comfort to know that they stand behind me every step of the way. We persevered and we fought the battle between the ministry and the board. And of course we wanted the board to win. So we stood firm. And the children had to suffer because there was no place to house them. We asked the ministry, we want something to keep them in the meantime. You know what they told us? You have to get approval for the place you're going to keep them. And I told the ministry, we have a facility here with all the facilities, all the